Hello. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. For this newsletter, for this particular content, I decided to do a little video with it because if you've been following along the last couple weeks, I'm offering pieces of a presentation I didn't get to give. And this week, it's about connecting with our hearts through listening or reading a poem and then taking some prompts and exploring where our heart has been the past couple of years. I don't know about you all, but I realized that the lockdowns and COVID, and there was a lot of times when I was sort of not connected to my heart, and I was in a place of fear and confusion and taking a lot of information that was making my brain and my thoughts, not always helpful. And I can still remember sort of the moment when I dropped back into my heart during that time and what it felt like to just feel all the grief and confusion and to let my body have that and to allow the wisdom of my heart to still be present in my life, even when I couldn't maybe act the way my heart wanted me to act. But I could let myself feel that. And then this morning, as I was preparing for this, I was doing some dancing and I put my hand on my heart and I got to thinking about or questioning, kind of wondering what the world would be like if humans spoke and at the same time often put their hand on their heart and connected into this space, this wisdom, this feeling, the beat to beat, the bodily sensory connection to our hearts. And I just wondered who we'd be if that was a way we lived, if that was a social norm. And putting our heads on someone else's chest that we felt safe with and they were good with that, and hearing their heart and recognizing this place that is another place we can live within and from. So the poem we're going to explore today is a poem by Rumi. It's called The Guest House. I'm going to read it twice and let's see if you can just let yourself have the poem however it comes to you in this moment. Before I start, though, just take a nice deep breath. Maybe turn off your phone or any other things that might distract you. And take a moment to be here listening to this. The Guest House by Rumi. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they are a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whatever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Take a breath. Just notice how those words touched you, what happened in your thought process, how do they feel in your body? When I first started experiencing people reciting poetry, one of the things they said was, you read a poem twice because the first time we often hear it through our mind, and the second time we hear it through our heart and our body. So here goes. Here's the second time. The Guest House by Rumi. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival. Every morning, a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they are a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whatever comes. Be grateful for whatever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Again, take a moment, just notice how all that lands, flows through you. If there's a line or a word that has deep meaning for you, you could even use that as a prompt. I'm going to go ahead and give you the prompts that I wrote out for this question, for this question about our heart and being in our hearts and moving from our hearts and recognizing the wisdom and feelings in our hearts, and to allow us to move whatever needs to move today. So the 4 questions I came up with are: what may need to be swept out of your heart house to allow new guests? What may need to be swept out of your heart house to allow new guests? What is wanting to be invited in? How do you create more windows and doors? How can your deepest desires find a way in and out? And so the poem and the prompts are also in the body of this email. I want to just give you some reminders about prompt writing. One of the things I really love about prompt writing was I found that if I didn't have a blank page and I had some other words to come off of, that really interesting thing came from me. I could access parts of myself that were difficult for me to access when I was just trying to make something appear on a page. And so this is an opportunity to kind of come in at a side angle or upside down or backwards to your bodily experience of your heart and of these times, and yeah, just whatever comes for you today. So the prompts are there to bring you clarity for today, or openness, or an aha. You can use all 4 prompts today if you'd like. You can just pick one to use. I recommend that you put a timer on, not to limit your time, but to make sure you take at least 5 to 8 minutes to explore this. You can go on as long as you'd like. If that feels good to keep writing, keep doing that. Try to keep your pen engaged on the paper at all times. So if you begin to think and you begin to censor your writing or start to get judgmental about what you're not saying or what you're saying, or that it's good or bad, go back to the prompt and write it as many times as you need to write it until something else rises. And it will. Something else will come if we keep writing. It's helpful to use pen and paper. It accesses different parts of ourselves. And if you only have the use of a computer, do that. It's helpful to write fast. It's helpful to breathe when you're writing. It's helpful to let your feelings in, whatever comes, let those feelings move as you're writing. And then when you finish writing, it's helpful to read your words back out loud to yourself. Again, it's another way that words come in out of our voice into our body and into our ears in a different way than our thinking or writing does. And it might, bring something up fresh to you to hear yourself say what you wrote. And then you can let these questions in this poem sort of live with you this week. You might take a question a day. You might ask someone else the question, prompt a different kind of conversation with someone. to share the wisdom or knowing of your heart with someone that you care about. Yeah. So have a good time. Email me if you want any ahas or anything that came to you if you do this and enjoy it. And feel free to, send it out to somebody else you think might find this helpful. All right. I hope you enjoy it. See you soon. Bye.